Hello, Mikey here, and I am going to try to make Flower Gold Wizard's world's best classifier. Now, I'm got a little bit different material here than he used in his film. Check his film out if you want a description of how he does it and everything. It's his way of making it. I'm just copying it. So what I'm going to do is basically try to make that, and you guys can follow me and see how I do. I actually purchased these smaller what do you call hole punch metals. This is actually aluminum one with the smaller holes in it. It's 1/8 holes. Gold here in Michigan is very small, like Flower Gold up there in Wisconsin. So the reason why I did this, I went to Menards, as you can see here. It's not an advertisement. I just had this bucket because I go there a lot. And they had their bag sale of 15% off. So anything that can fit in the bag can fit in there. When I went to go get the material I wanted to make for this classifier, I found out that the hole punch sheet of metal that was there wouldn't fit in that bag, and these are already cut down in the length we actually need them. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt that. It's not as thick, and it's not going to be as rugged as the Wizard's classifier is. But let's have fun and try it out and see how it goes. Now, I did build my own classifier. It's actually out of a 3.5 gallon bucket, and I had 1/4 inch mesh that's on here. And as you can see inside, I used some of the tools that I'm going to use here and rivets to make it smooth. Now, this actually does work really good. It fits in the bucket nicely like any other one. And it has the inside, you can see the holes that this bucket, the water, goes through. It works great on cleaning the classifier out. Now, if you want me to make a video on how to make this, just give me some comments and some thumbs ups and let me go. And let me know if you want me to make that classifier. But today I am making the world's best one. So bear with me and let's see how I do. Alright, step one, we are going to trace out our diagram. As you can see in the Wizard's video, he did his on the floor. And he said you could actually do it on anything you really want. So I actually grabbed the bucket, my Menards bucket, and I am going to trace it on this piece of board that I have here, and make the circle all the way around with my marker. And voila, there is the bottom of the bucket, and it's the outside of the bucket. According to the Wizard's video, that it will be the size that will work inside the bucket. So let's get the measurements and tape measures out, and let's draw our lines that we are going to make our bends with. Okay, so Mr. Wizard there, he had measured 5 inches every single thing there. So we are going to try to do the 5 inches, since it's a nice round number, instead of actually making it perfect, like you know, if you want to anyway. So let's start out. You're going to need a start point. like the 1 inch to the 5 inch mark. It's pretty simple. You line everything up. If you use your angle, it should be the exact same as 5 inches. So from here to the corner to the 5 inch mark should be 5 inches. Now if you put your tape measure down, from there to there should be 5 inches. So if you can use your square, go ahead. Here we go. 5 inches. Put it right there on the pivot point. And it should be 5 inches. You go this way. You put a 5 inch mark on the pivot point from here to here with the outside of that. Should be 5 inches from there. So you can do this all the way around. Mr. Wizard is a masonry, and I'm actually in maintenance, so this actually I enjoyed making stuff and trying to make stuff other people made. I'm going to go ahead and trace the rest of this stuff out. Alright, I've got it all measured out. Should be 5 inches, and that one flat end, if you watch this video, is a little bit longer. And the point of this is we're going to make each bend from each corner all the way around. Now in his video, he showed you cutting the 2x2 hole punch sheet out with the grinder and stuff like that. I ended up just buying the small ones and see if it works. So I don't need to cut them in half. I already got 2 that are the same. So all I need to do is measure out the 5 inches and do the bends. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to measure out. We'll wait. Sometimes everybody does their measuring different. What I like to do is I'll go to the one end with the tape measure, put it in, and take my mark and measure out 5 inches. And you put a mark right there for 5 inches. Go down to the other side, the other bottom. Then put it up against the edge of the metal. Do another 5 inches. Mark it to 5 inches. So you got your 2 marks. Therefore, you can take your square, line up the 2 5-inch marks. Just like this. Because the marker's fat, you might want to go just like that. And then go down like this. Now, a marker will get shredded on these little tiny holes, just the way it is. So, if you measure it back out, it should be right around 5 inches. Now it's a little bit short, but on the back side of this marker, it should be in 5 inches. So you can see right there. Now I've got something a little different than the Wizard has. He put some boards out and he bended it to get his bends. I actually have a little table that you would see. It's a little sawhorse that can open and close, and I'm going to attempt to use that to make my bends. So we'll see how it works. So you can see this is my little table. It's got a little line handles down here. You can open and close this gap in here. Now I don't need the gap any wider than I need to fit this metal piece on it. So the whole goal is to fit the metal piece in between here, right to the line that we need it. Now you can tighten these down, the handles, and it makes them nice, tight. So it should be about the 5-inch mark that I have on the mark. And then on these ones, one side is kind of smooth and the other side's kind of rough. So what I'm going to do is, I like the rough side just to have the material on, so I'm going to have that bent, since the mark is on that I can see on this side, is bend it to me and make this mark here. Alright. So I got that unreleased, comes out, and you can see the bend that it made. And just like at the Wizards video, you can bend it back just a little bit to follow the line that you have marked out, like so. So I'm going to keep going on, measure 5 inches, bend it with my table, and I'm going to get those bends and let's see how it goes. Okay, so I made my bends. For some reason not all of it came out to 5 inches. I'm wondering if I measured some of them a little longer, or this is not. So it's 5 inch, 5 inch, 5 inch, and 5 inch. For some reason I got a little 4 incher there, and I'm wondering it wasn't as big, as long as the hole punch that you got from there, even though it's 12 by 24. But we can still work on it and work with it, and that's part of building anything. Something is going to go wrong either way. Especially when you're following someone else's instructions, or you go a little bit off like I do. But we can still salvage everything and move forward to make a classifier. A classifier is anything that will reduce the dirt down to smaller, that we can either pan out or use in our sluice. So I can still use this pattern here and measure out what I've got here. Just bend everything wide open, as the Wizards video you can do, and still follow this pattern as best as I can. So I got there, here, and here. So mine is going to look a little bit different because I have mine's actually an inch shorter than the other one, which is fine. I'm just going to, instead of my edge here, is going to have another bend on it at the end. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 5 plus another inch plus the 2 inches that he claims on there, so it'd be another 3 inches that I'm going to put on my end. And all I will do is measure that 5 inch out, make that slight bend, and then bend it back onto here, and we can see how that looks. I'm going to go ahead and do that with the other one and measure out my 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 5, 6, 7, 8 inches. That was in my head, but you can use a calculator and everything else how you want. Let me get that 8-inch cut into the other sheet. I will show you, and I can use your 10 snips. Just line it up. Same with the way I've been doing it with those lines. You make the measurements and then you make your cut. Just take your other sheet and then you take the one side that you want and you make your 8 inches that you need, and then you mark it the 8 inches that I need. So again, I need that 5 plus 3 inches to create something else. Let's go and see how that works. It may work good, it may turn out and I have to modify against the other one. So let's see how that works. I measured out my 8-inch there. You just take your 10 snips and you find that line and you just take and you cut them along that line. Now it's kind of difficult on some of this if you're not used to cutting metal or any type of using 10 snips. It does take quite skill a little bit, but go slow and steady, as you can see here, and you will make it all the way down. And this is the one reason why I chose aluminum over the metal hole punch, is that it's easier to work with aluminum, especially if you're a beginner. I suggest to practice with a piece of aluminum. It was a little bit cheaper and it's easy to bend. So we'll go with that. So this should be 8 inches right on the button all the way down, and we are going to make that 5-inch bend that I had with this one here to create that missing 4 inches, to add on that 4 inches that I had. So I am going to do that, measure out the 5 inches, and then create that bend. And then we will see how it goes together, and I will use my rivets to put it all together. You got the 5 inches. You got your square. Line everything up. And draw your line. Actually, as I thought about it, because I'm supposed to add another inch off here, so it should be 6 inches, not 5 inches. See? Good thing that I remembered that to have the extra inch to come over here, I should have actually measured out 6 inches, not 5 inches, to make the bend. So we can attach it to over here. So let's do that. Let's add the extra inch to it. Make it 6 inches. So that extra one would be 2 inches. So we need that bend there, the overlap and the bend that goes down on there. So let's do this again with 6 inches. We measure back out and we follow the line, and we'll make our line. Again, is supposed to be fun, and you can get 3 pieces to make a mistake and redo it. It's aluminum. It's pretty cheap, and especially go on that 15% bag day, and you can get 3 pieces in there. Alright, let me bend this and we'll be right back. So I created my bends. The 1 inch on this side and the 4 inch, 2 inch on that side. So when you line up my basket here, you can have the 1 inch. I will put that together and then create that bend there, and then have this one move up to the 4 inch, and we should have our basket put together. So let me get my rivet and my rivet gun and put this together, and then we'll build the bottom. Okay, so this is why I chose the 1/8 inch rivet. It's a rivet, and not a Kermit the Frog. But so these work perfectly in the holes, and it really looks and blends right in, and it's also aluminum. So and I like aluminum just for the fact that it's not going to rust. We're going to use this in the water a lot. So as you can see, fits perfectly nice into these holes right here. All you got to do is work them in a little bit, and they fit nice. You take your rivet, just like that, and it moves in there. We can do that to the other side right here. Put everything together, and we will have our basket. Let me finish those up, and we'll move on to the next. So I got my classifier here. As you can see inside, the rivets are inside, so the outside is nice and smooth for fitting inside the bucket. So as you can see, it's supposed to go right in, and we'll set it up for a little bit here. Get it in. Oh, now let's move on to the bottom. Just like his Mr. Wizard's video, we're going to take whatever's left, and we are going to draw the inside of the mesh, and then we're going to have the 1 inch around, so we can move in and put it in place. It's a little bit difficult. Marker isn't perfect. As you can see, I'm just darkening up the lines so I can see it a little bit better. So I measure that 1 inch all the way around. That is about 1 inch there. Alright, so I just marked out all the 1 inch. I'm just going to take my square here and square everything up. Try to get everything. So let me square everything up and then I will show you once I start cutting it out. Okay, so I made my lines. Now let's go ahead and cut out the longer one and bend it in shape. Basically, we'll take our 10 snips again and start cutting on the line just like before. Okay, so I cut out my outer line, so you see the inner one. I am going to snip in each corner and then bend it for the inside, and we'll slip it in and then add the rivets to that and make our bottom. So I'm going to work on that, continue with our 10 snips. Alright, I got my cuts. So let's make these bends. Now, when the wizard did it, he had it in opposite. I'm going to try something a little bit different, see if it works. I'm going to try putting some blocks in there and push up against, because this is aluminum. It's not as thick as that steel, so you can really work with this material. Let me go do that, and if it will work, I'll put it on camera. Okay, so I took a piece of scrap wood, just basically put it on that line. Do every other one, just help keep the maintain, and then you can just bend this up. It is that simple with aluminum that you can bend it up. Now you're all thinking, oh, it's aluminum, but and it's not going to hold up sturdy. It will. This octagon or shape or whatever like that, bridges and stuff, they use it because it's sturdy. It takes the metal and makes it sturdy. And once you add the bottom to this, and it won't bend. It'll give a little bend, but it will hold up pretty strong. But let me make the rest of these bends on this, and then see what put it into the bottom. Another handy tool that you might want to try to invest in, you don't really need it, but this is a clamp for where they use for welding and stuff like that. And it's a flat, long vice grip that all you can do is you can take it and line it up on that line that you want your bend to be, and then you just slowly use this vice grips to bend them up, and it makes the perfect line that you're going to do. Now I use these actually to build some sluices, aluminum sluices that I went through, and that'll come another video later as I move on. Right now I know I get sidetracked a little bit, but this is actually, we'll finish this basket here, and then another video to come, we'll make some sluices, or I'll show you some of my sluices that I make. Actually, kind of give you an idea. A little teaser to come. This is one that I actually bent and made with the dream mat in it. It's another video to come, but if you enjoy moving, and this is also aluminum, if you enjoy working with your hands and stuff like that, there's also videos out there showing you bending these in shape and stuff like that, and then putting in the mat. But let's finish this basket. Okay, so I got all these bent. You can actually go through. Now, I should have some pliers the wizard had, but I didn't really bring them because aluminum is, you can actually do all this with your fingers. If you're very sensitive with your hands, make sure you use gloves, but other than that, it's pretty simple to bend. But now we just need to try to fit this in the bottom here, find the perfect spot that I had these lined up on, and then we'll rivet it in. So let me find the perfect spot, and I'll put this down on the bottom and start riveting it in, and I'll show you. Okay, so the key, the bottom is going to be your toughest probably part you're going to go in, and the idea is you have to try to line up where you draw your line, and then what I have with the rivets is find the holes that line up so you can get your metal to come together. Now I'm going to work on this. You may have to play with it a little bit, do some bending, get into shape. If it's not perfect, that's not the end of the world. The whole idea of it is it's supposed to really just cipher through your dirt, so the bigs stay inside and the smalls come out through the bottom. If there's a little bit of extra larger rocks in there, it's no big deal, you can just pan that out. But let's go ahead and work on it a bit. You can see there's a bubble here. All you gotta do is just push it down, put another rivet in there, and work away all the way around until you are satisfied in what you want it to look like. Okay, I'm gonna finish up on that and we're gonna move on to the next. Okay, so I have put the bottom on. If you can see a little bit, the rivets all the way around that I have. Now, it looks good to me. That's the inside. So that's where all your material is gonna go. But it's nice, sturdy. Actually, it's lightweight. And it fits perfectly in a 5-gallon bucket, just like that, the way you want it. As you can see inside, the material. So what I'm going to do is, as the wizard said at the end, you can put handles on it or whatever. I actually bought my handles. I put some money into it because I like to, I don't know, a little bit of interesting stuff. These handles right here, a little gold on it. Yep, that's right. I'm hoping to put some gold handles on there. Little black, got little grips on here, so hopefully it will find some gold. I'm going to do now. These didn't line up a little bit with the holes that are in here, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of drill out or poke, make these holes a little bit bigger or wider. It is aluminum, so you can do that. And my plan is to put the screws on and put some washers in the back of those. Let me go ahead and do that, and I will show you the finished product off of that. Let's see in the next. Okay, I'm attaching these handles on there, and I want to show you a trick. So these screws that come with the handles, they are actually longer than I need them. Now, again, if you're trying to put a handle on or anything like that, this is just after effect. You don't need a handle. You can cut holes in there, just like the Mr. Wizard did at his classifier. But a trick is take a, these are wire strippers for electrical, and in the wire stripper there's actually a screw hole that you can put these screws through, and all you need to do is just screw them in there, and then you can actually cut them down the size that you want, that you need or you want to them. It's a trick that that a lot of people don't really know if you're not your electrician or a maintenance guy type of deal. But you basically just get your screw down to where you want it, and then you can actually snip it a little bit to make it shorter than what you need, and it goes right in. It's a cool little trick. If you guys want to try it, just get yourself a pair. They are pretty pricey. They're for electricians and stuff like that. But again, you don't really need to. You can find smaller screws if you want. Go to the hardware store and just get shorter ones. If you guys don't have a pair of that, screws are cheaper than pliers, so just go ahead and do that. See? And it just comes off, and then you just take it back off, unscrew it again, like so. You got yourself a smaller screw, and you can put it in just like this, and screw it back in. Alright, I will show you the finished product. Okay, so my classifier is done. Got my handles on there, nice gold catching handles. Everything is nice and tight. You can see the inside, looks good, nice and sturdy, lightweight, and all you can do is jostle it around. So just like Mr. Wizard's, it's right in the bucket. Kind of sits up nice and high. Grab your handles and move forward. Well, I appreciate you guys' time. When you get a chance, check out Mr. Wizard's channel and his own. He has a better channel on making a classifier. And now I have a competition with my new classifier versus my old one right here that I showed you guys that I made. It's pretty simple. Another classifier. This one also fits in the bucket. Turns around, jostles the water in the frame. But what's good is I can actually fit this one somewhat into that one, carry it with me. So, and I'm more projects to come. As you can see, I've got my sluices that I made that I want to get into and test those out. I guess the next is to test these classifiers to see how much dirt I can filter out and catch gold. But other than that, check out my videos and more to come. Peace.